Kia ora, and welcome to your Good Heavens guide for December 2025 and January 2026. I'm Deb, a Good Heavens stargazing guide here on Aotea, Great Barrier Island, New Zealand. This island is just a short flight from Auckland, yet it's far enough away to be an international dark sky sanctuary. This means we have some of the darkest skies in the world. Great for stargazing. In this video, I'm going to take you on a journey through the Southern Hemisphere night sky. This guide is designed for a 9:30 p.m. start time, as that's when it gets dark enough to stargaze over the summer. If you're like me, you'll want to enjoy the stars as early as you can. And if you're stargazing later in the evening, the stars and planets will have shifted a little further to the west. If you stay out under the stars for a while, you'll start to notice this movement. You might want to watch this video before you head outside, then just listen once you're out in the dark. This is because our eyes take a while to adjust to the dark, and looking at your screen will set your eyes back. Or you can set your phone to night mode, as more orange or red toned light affects our night vision less. As you start to get familiar with our constellations, you'll have less need to watch the video and you can just listen to my voice guiding you. Together, we'll look at the constellations, planets, star clusters, and galaxies visible this evening. We'll dip into astronomy, Greek myths, and Maori star lore. Wherever you are in the Southern Hemisphere, this guide will help you look up and get lost in the starry night sky. So take yourself somewhere dark, get comfy and warm. Here on Aotea with Good Heavens, we use moon chairs for stargazing. This helps our stargazers to lean back and relax their backs and necks with a snuggly blanket to keep them warm. Or, when I'm doing a bit of impromptu stargazing with my son, we throw a towel or a blanket on the ground, lie back and look straight up. So, let's get stargazing. Turn off the lights and let your eyes adjust to the darkness. Remember, it may take 20 minutes for your eyes to fully adjust. Our moon over these months. Now let's have a think about the movement of our moon, because that also affects our stargazing. There's a full moon on December the 5th and a new moon on the 20th of December. So the evening sky will be the darkest from the 8th through to the 22nd of December. Then the waxing crescent moon will bring light into the sky. In January, the full moon is on the 3rd, and the evening sky will be darkest from the 6th through to the 23rd of January. Then the waxing crescent moon will light up the sky once again. On a new moon night, the moon sets at the same time as the sun. Each night after that, the moon will get a bit bigger and stay in the night sky around 50 minutes longer until it's full. On a full moon, it rises in the east at the same time the sun sets in the west. The moon is then in the sky all night. After that, the moon wanes, rising about 50 minutes later every night. Now let's start in the western sky with some of our zodiacal constellations. Low in the sky is the zodiacal constellation of Capricornus, the sea goat. This constellation appears to me to look more like a large boomerang, a heavily indented triangular shape. The stars are not especially bright, but once you see the pattern of the stars, it's easily recognizable. Have you found it? There are several myths relating to Capricornus, and here's one that I enjoy the most. The god Pan was hanging out with the other gods in Egypt near the Nile when Typhon, a fire-breathing creature somewhat similar to a dragon, found them. In order to escape Typhon and his fire, Pan transformed himself into an animal. The plan was to be a goat to run to the river, then a fish to swim away. However, in his haste, he became a sea goat, the upper body of a goat and the lower body of a fish. Luckily, he still escaped the monster Typhon and fled with the other gods. Amused by his quick thinking but less than perfect transformation, Zeus immortalized Pan's escape by placing the image of a sea goat in the stars as the constellation Capricornus. Move a little to the north to the next zodiacal constellation, Aquarius, the water bearer. Aquarius is a constellation of mainly faint stars. Look for the water barrel, three slightly brighter stars that form the barrel. From this barrel, water flows, represented by a trail of stars, a starry waterfall. A little bit further north than the waterfall is the planet Saturn. It is the brightest object in this part of the sky and it's golden in colour, so I'm sure you'll find it easily. Saturn is a massive gas giant planet composed mainly of hydrogen and helium. It's the sixth planet from the Sun and the planet with the spectacular rings. These rings are composed of ice particles, dust, and rock. It's about 300,000 kilometers wide, but it's really thin, 10 meters or 50 meters thick, so pretty tiny. And currently, we're seeing that as a thin line because we're looking at Saturn almost straight on. Saturn also boasts many moons, 278 at last count, including the largest moon, Titan, which is often visible with some magnification, binoculars or a telescope. Saturn was at opposition on the 21st of September 2025. So this is when it reached its closest and its brightest point to Earth for the year. During opposition, Earth passed directly between Saturn and the Sun. And at this time, Saturn appeared a little larger, a little brighter, and is in the sky all night long. We will continue to see Saturn clearly in the night sky for the next few months, so keep looking. A fun fact about Saturn is that if we could pop it into a bath, a truly massive bath, it would float. That's because Saturn has a low density, lower than water. If you have a pair of good binoculars or a telescope, you'll be able to see Saturn with its rings and moon Titan. So if that's the case, pause me now and have a look. Below and east of Saturn is Pisces, the twin fish. The stars in this constellation are two faint circles of stars. The fish, held together by a string. They wrap themselves around Pegasus, the flying horse, and you can currently find one of the fish just below Saturn. Aries, the ram, is a much smaller zodiacal constellation. Move north from Pisces and look for three stars in a curve. Then imagine the ram's head at that star closer to Pisces and the body and legs sticking up into the sky. Nearby, above the northeastern horizon, look for a sparkly and very well-known open cluster. These young, hot stars are called Matariki to the Maori here in Aotearoa. Pleiades, to the ancient Greeks, the Seven Sisters in modern Europe, or Subaru in Japan. Nearly every culture has looked at this cluster of stunning stars and added their story to it. To us here in New Zealand, the heliacal rising of Matariki in June or July is the start of the Maori New Year. This has become a national holiday. Look at the cluster with your naked eyes. How many stars do you see? 5, 7, 9. Now, if you have binoculars, look through them. Maybe you can see 50. The Pleiades are part of the constellation of Taurus the Bull. In fact, the cluster sits on the bull's back. Our bull is upside down from our perspective right now. Look for a distinct V shape of stars. This is the head of Taurus and is also another open cluster called the Hyades open cluster. You'll notice two bright stars well below this cluster. These represent his huge horns. Now move east and find the constellation Orion. You may know the asterism the Pot, which is made up of the 3 stars in a row that form Orion's belt, plus the 3 fainter closest stars on an angle that form the handle or Orion's sword. But these stars are more than that. Look again. Can you see the fuzzy, cloudy glow of light? Within Orion's sword is the Orion Nebula. A nebula is an area of giant, glowing gas clouds and dark dust clouds, which is a place where new stars are created and born. With binoculars or a telescope, you'll be able to see these starry babies. Orion is attempting a handstand for us here in Aotearoa, or anyone in the Southern Hemisphere. His bright blue foot, the blue-white supergiant star Rigel, is sticking up into the sky. You'll notice another foot, a bit further east. In contrast, looking down, his armpit, Betelgeuse, is closer to the horizon and it's a different colour. It glows orangey red because it's approaching the end of its life. Orion is followed by his trusty dogs. The one that you'll see the easiest is Canis Major, the big dog. This is across to the east of Orion and is easy to spot because it contains our brightest star, Sirius. Now, Sirius is the brightest star in our night sky, no matter where you are in the world. And it's bright because it's close to us, astronomically speaking. It's only 8.6 light years away. So that light has taken 8 years and 6 months to travel from the star Sirius to our eyeballs. A mere 81 trillion kilometres away. Sirius represents our dog's throat, and just below that is a triangle of stars representing our dog's head. Now move along from Sirius and see that there's a line of stars. Now that's our dog's back. So now imagine this is a dog rolling on his back, kicking his paws up into the sky and wagging his tail. Can you see that? By January, or if you're staying up a bit later, you'll also see Canis Minor, the little dog. With just 2 bright stars in this constellation, you'll need a good dose of imagination. So look down towards the horizon and just a tad north from Sirius, and here you'll find the brightest star, Procyon, and Gomeza is the other less bright star. And then move lower again and north from Canis Minor for the planet Jupiter. By January, it'll be rising above the northeastern horizon by 9:30 p.m. But if you've got hills on your horizon, you may need to wait a little longer for it to pop up. Jupiter will be the brightest object in the eastern sky, so once it does pop above the horizon, you'll spot it pretty easily. And it's bright because it's big. Earth could actually fit inside it around about 1,400 times. Jupiter is a gas giant planet made up almost entirely of hydrogen and helium, and it's the fifth planet from our Sun. Jupiter has got 95 moons, and the biggest moon, Ganymede, is often visible through binoculars. As far as moons go, Ganymede is big, bigger than the planet Mercury. If you have a telescope, pause me and have a look at Jupiter. You may be able to see another 3 moons. These are the 4 Galilean moons. Galileo, who spotted them first in 1610 through one of the earliest telescopes. A day on Jupiter takes a bit less than 10 hours, a speedy Jovian day. And the super high rotational speeds lead to the gases being whipped up into a stormy cloud system on the surface. If you look at Jupiter through a telescope, you can see some of these stormy patterns. Now look from Orion between Sirius and Procyon across to the south. Can you see a milky band? This is the outskirts of our home galaxy, the Milky Way. In our Southern Hemisphere summer, we're looking towards the outer area of our galaxy. So let's follow this milky pathway over to the southern sky. Very low in the southern sky at the moment is the Southern Cross, which is also called Crux. It is small. It's the smallest of all the constellations, and it's bright. There's 2 other bright stars here. They're the pointer stars, Alpha and Beta Centauri, and they're currently pointing to the Southern Cross, sort of across the horizon. Our ancestors used these stars to help them navigate through the southern seas. They could find the south celestial pole and then south by drawing lines out from the long arm of the Southern Cross and by joining Alpha and Beta Centauri together, then extracting a perpendicular line out from the pointer stars. At the point where these lines meet, we have the south celestial pole. Now, drop a line to the horizon to give you due south. As our Earth rotates and time goes by, you may notice that these stars appear to move in a circle. This is our Earth's rotation, making the Southern Cross appear to turn like a clock hand on a 24-hour clock. The longer you spend gazing at the stars, the more apparent this movement will be. Across from the Southern Cross, high in the southern sky, there's 2 fuzzy white clouds. You will need a very dark and clear sky to see these clouds. So, if you're on out here Great Barrier Island like me, you're in luck. A moonless night is also very helpful here. These clouds are the large and the small Magellanic Clouds, satellite galaxies to our Milky Way. These galaxies are much smaller than our large spiral galaxy, which they're gravitationally attracted to. So they're only around 5% and 3% of the mass of the Milky Way. And they're a long way away from us. They're a whopping 16,000 and 200,000 light years away. So the light you see tonight left those galaxies not long after modern humans started roaming our Earth. Many early navigators used these two small galaxies to find their way across southern oceans, as they were always noticeable in the southern sky, higher in summer and lower in winter, as they appear to rotate around the south celestial pole. With binoculars or a telescope, you can look just above the small Magellanic Cloud for a gorgeous globular cluster called 47 Tucanae. This cluster of around 1 million ancient stars is my personal favourite. Now, while you've been gazing up into the stars, have you seen any meteors? These are also known as shooting stars and are tiny pieces of space rock or debris burning up as they travel through our atmosphere. A common size for a meteor would be the size of a pea. So how do we see that? Well, as they're travelling so fast, maybe 50 kilometres per second, the friction of the meteor travelling through the gases in our atmosphere sets them briefly alight, and we see that stunning streak of burning gas. The bigger the meteor, the bigger the flash of light in our night sky, with the most impressive being named fireballs. Sometimes we have meteor showers, and they are showers that occur annually when the Earth passes through a trail of dusty debris left behind by a comet or occasionally an asteroid as it's orbiting the Sun. Meteor showers are named after their radiant point, the point in the sky where they appear to originate from. The Geminoid meteor shower peaks December the 13th to 14th. This year, 2025, it's expected to be a really good year because we'll have a moonless night. And that lack of light from our moon means we're likely to see more meteors. We might even see up to 120 meteors per hour. The best time of the night to spot these meteors is after midnight, when the constellation Gemini is higher up in the sky. Out here, Great Barrier Island has its own meteor watch station, and you can go online to fireballs.nz to see last night's meteors as an image or as a time-lapse video. There are meteor watch stations all through New Zealand and around the world. Occasionally, a large meteor is seen, and using these stations and a bit of trigonometry, the meteorite can be found. Having lived under dark skies and bright skies, I think the best sky is a dark sky. Do you agree? And if so, will you help me? Could you turn off your outdoor lights as soon as you're done with them? Use warm-coloured light bulbs and shield lights so that the light doesn't go up into the sky. Please encourage others to do the same. Ngā mihi nui stargazers, thank you for joining me on tonight's journey through our night skies. I would love to know where in the world you're joining me from and how similar or different your view of the stars are. Each star has its own story, and every stargazer will connect to the universe in their own special way. Gazing up at the stars gives me a sense of awe and wonder. I hope you've felt that tonight, and I hope you'll join me on another stargazing journey soon, either online next month or visiting me here on Aotea Great Barrier Island for one of our magical stargazing experiences. Clear skies!